But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
All right, so welcome back to the AI-Ready Startup Accelerator program powered by the global startup ecosystem. My name is Christine and Tim. I'm a three-time founder, global speaker, and a tech ecosystem builder on a mission to help build the next generation of entrepreneurial leaders. And I am so excited to be here with you for the last day of this amazing multi-day program. So I hope that you had an amazing ride because it has been truly a phenomenal conversation over the past 3 days. Our efforts to help you build a resilient, relevant, and inspiring business in this new AI economy. Now, just quick recap. For the past couple of days, we covered a lot. We talked about the data and the stats around, this race to adopting AI in our businesses. 90% of startups are still failing despite all the technology that we have. 70% of digital transformation efforts still fail. And about 65% of AI pilot products never take off in corporate environments. So as you can see, no matter what stage of business you are in, this race to the top to understand how to adopt this technology is still very difficult for many in this day and age. So you're not alone as you try to navigate this journey. Over the past couple of days, I shared with you a framework that we have been sharing with our entrepreneurs to help them navigate this whole AI revolution that's happening and building capacity around three major areas: time, traction, and trust. Time centered around not just chasing the nearest or latest AI tool or technology or software, but thinking about how to improve productivity while building the capacity for leadership, making very powerful management decisions that actually accelerate growth and progress, while also optimize the experience for your users. Traction, we talked about yesterday, the power of one growth framework, how to simplify your business model to be relevant in today's economy. And today we're going to talk about trust. We all know that, with any new technology, there's a little bit of skepticism. There's people who are afraid to leverage the technology, those who are using it and really utilizing it for as bad actors. How do you navigate a new environment where people are more skeptical, more apprehensive, and less trustworthy in this environment? How do you operate as an entrepreneur? And so, as stated before, we talked about, leveraging time, how to optimize traction. So today we're going to talk about trust. And one of the biggest things I've been sharing with my entrepreneurs in our portfolio, as you know, just a little bit of background, the global startup ecosystem has been around for close to 9 years now. And we have accelerated and supported close to 100,000 entrepreneurs through our accelerator programs, tech summits, events, workshops, partnership collaborations. We have been supporting entrepreneurs from around the world for years. So we have seen patterns, we have seen evolutions, and we have seen so much disruption in the entrepreneurial landscape to the point that we recognize that a lot of entrepreneurs are saying, hey, it may be easy to put that website up. It may be, easier to, put that event up or partner and and globally, market the hell out of your products. But to get people to convert from being an audience to a client has actually increasingly become more difficult. And the reason why that's more difficult is because trust is broken in the online economy. Okay. Makes sense. People don't know what to trust anymore. They don't know if they're talking to a bot. They don't know if they're talking to, every email right now, every marketing campaign is AI generated. There's a lot of trust broken into the system. And so what we've been sharing with our entrepreneurs, something that I've leveraged in my 10 years as an entrepreneur, and I want to open that, invitation and that strategy to you, is that many entrepreneurs forget that when there's a broken trust in the ecosystem, people need to get to know you. People need to get to know your values and your mission, and a little bit insight into the work that you do, the value that you provide. So the best strategy that we've been sharing with entrepreneurs in our portfolio is how to create an anchor event. That anchor event, if you do it on a repeated basis, become your calendar routine. And what you're doing is create a trust bridge, a bridge between your value system, your mission, to your product and service. So what's happening right now is that people are no longer just taking the value or the promises of your product or service at face value. They need proof, right? And so if you take a step back, this really kind of dives into personal branding, why you need to have a real strong personal brand. Every successful entrepreneurship journey starts with being very critical of your reputation, right? Some of the biggest, every single Fortune 500 company, the founder, the CEO, and there's a reason for that. And what happens is a lot of founders, what they're doing, they have expertise and experiences, a solution, right? And they jump right into just packaging and selling a course, a coaching program, a service, or offering. And they forget that right now, the missing piece that's causing this breakage, why it's so hard to convert your audience on social media, your newsletters, your website into paying clients, is because there's no trust layer in between those two experiences. And the bridge between that is really creating thought leadership, IP, frameworks, blueprints. Share with people, how did you come up with your solution? How did you come up with this product? How did you, go about serving this audience? Give people that thought leadership. And that's where we come in and share. Remember, yesterday we talked about simplifying your business model. That's why simplifying your business model helps you to be able to do this emphatically, right? And so with that said, the most important thing that you need to understand in this process is that once you have a strong business model structure, the best thing that you could do now is to have an anchor event. And what is an anchor event? An anchor event is your ability to pretty much create a calendar. It's like a tuning TV station, right? This is the reason why you see a lot of people when they go live on social media, they're offering something, right? They're doing something for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, some type of live activation event to share with people, again, their thought leadership and business model. And what it does is creates trust. You are actually having an experience with me right now. This is considered an anchor event. Before, selling you on any GSE service that we have, an accelerator, a product, a boot camp, or a program, this is an anchor event for you to get to know me, get to know my leadership style, my ability to communicate, and also what I have to offer. Now, the secret is doing it consistently. This is the reason why, even if you are consistently showing up live virtually on social media once a week for 15 minutes or less, that is enough to be able to build trust and credibility in the market to accelerate your business growth. This is something that we teach at the GSC, but also amongst all our different programs. We ask entrepreneurs, do you have an anchor event where you're able to provide value on a consistent basis on a weekly basis? This is the reason why this is an era for podcasts, newsletters, coaching programs, because each one of YouTube channels, each one of these strategies is you building credibility and a reputation in the market with your audience. Therefore, people are able to trust and work with you in that capacity, right? And then in general, obviously, this is going to be something that it sounds simple, but it's very hard to execute. And this is the reason why discipline comes into play and creating a routine around that structure. Once you build that capacity to rethink about the right tools for your business and really building your leadership, you are now creating an AI-ready business, because now you've done three things. And just to recap one more time, you've done three things specifically just now. You have been able to now optimize your time, right, by really doing a complete audit of your tech stack to make sure that you are leading and creating management decisions that actually impact the growth of your business and your constituents. You've created traction by simplifying your business model. Stop being a retail shop offering multiple different products, actually simplifying your business model and being known for one flagship product, so that way people to go to market and know who you are. Think of Nike. Think of all the biggest companies that you think of. They're known for one thing, even though they offer multiple things, but they're known for one flagship product. At the Global Startup Ecosystem, we help entrepreneurs in a multitude of facets, but we are known for our flagship digital accelerator program. And today I just share with you the secret to gain and scale visibility and build trust, build a reputation, build a connection with your audience, because in this AI economy, trust is out the window. If you want to create trust, you have to create an anchor event, and you have to do it on a consistent basis to build that thought leadership calendar that's repeatable, consistent, believable, and it creates not only authenticity between you and your buyer. What I love about this process is that it creates clarity for you. When you repeatedly have to show up and talk about your ideas and talk about something that matters to you, not only do you gain clarity internally, you're also creating clarity in the market where people can refer you, talk about you, and really share about your work across multiple markets. And that's how you create pretty much a domino effect. Remember, I talked about this on day one. What you're creating is that you're not finding opportunities, you're creating momentum. When you create momentum, that's when inbound opportunities come your way and puts you in a position to be able to accelerate your business further in ways that you never thought possible. Okay. So with that said, I want to now conclude by saying that this obviously is the shortest of the 3-day program, because this is your opportunity to reflect on the past 3 days and think about, okay, from this accelerator program, we talked about 3 key things: how to accelerate time, traction, and trust in this AI economy. I share with you a framework every single day. Go back and reflect on those blueprints and reflect on those frameworks. The next thing that you want to do now is actually implement what you learned. Go back to the drawing board and talk to your team, talk to your advisors, talk to your network, and really get that feedback mechanism and optimize time by, again, reviewing your tech stack, really simplify your business model and accelerate traction, and really put on the calendar what's the best time of the week that you could go live and really have an interaction and build credibility and build an audience. And let me tell you this, don't worry about having thousands of people watch you. I don't care if one person is viewing your thought leadership calendar every single week. The point is that you're gaining clarity, momentum, visibility, and you're creating commitment. You're creating discipline, because the biggest thing that's lost in this AI economy is discipline, it's commitment. It's really hard to show up when no one's watching. Imagine what you will become when you have thousands, millions of people watching you, because you built the discipline to show up no matter what. With that said, next steps is I want to invite you all to the AI Ready Sprint Workshop. If you gain a lot of clarity, structure, and understanding, and really the right blueprint through this 3-day AI Ready Accelerator program, this is the next best step. Where this Friday, we're going to have a 3-hour event where we're going to implement everything that we discussed through our frameworks, through our blueprints, so that way I could be able to give some hot seat coaching and advisory for those of you who are ready to take it to the next level. Now, again, this is your capacity to be able to have a more private, intimate setting with me. We only have less than 10 seats available for this experience. And this is your opportunity to, again, implement what we learned. Obviously, some of you may not be ready for this, so go ahead and go back and look at the replay. But for those of you who are ready to take the second half of this year and really accelerate your growth as an entrepreneur, position yourself as a thought leader, and build a legacy that matters in this economy, and create trust and credibility that cannot be forgotten, this is your opportunity to work with me in a more intimate setting through the AI Ready Sprint Workshop. With that said, I do want to conclude by saying this. This is by far the easiest economy to actually launch a business. I will tell you, it is easier to put a website out there. It is easier to launch a social media page. It is easier to build an audience that's watching what you do. But to create a sustainable, respectable business that builds a legacy and builds value in the communities that they serve, that is harder, because you're going to have to be 10 times more disciplined, 10 times more committed, and what I like to say, 10 times more clear on why you are doing this work. So if there's anything that you learned throughout this 3-day experience, don't just think as AI as a way to leverage the next best thing or the next best tool. Look at AI as the ability to accelerate your reach, accelerate your capacity, accelerate your understanding of how to actually reach your audience, give them the best value proposition possible, and build your leadership capacity. I cannot stress this enough. Make bold decisions. Care about the audience that you serve, and you will see how your traction and your acceleration will take you to new heights. I cannot wait to see all of you soar. Thank you so much for being a part of this amazing 3-day experience. I look forward to seeing you on the other side of this new revolution that we are all living in as founders, entrepreneurs, and global disruptors. Thank you so much. Please lead by example. Goodbye.